Yo, 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 what's good, too? It's been a minute. It's your boy Zito, back. I've been on hiatus because I've been creating. Equipment went down temporarily, too, so I was getting everything refocused, adding some new things. Uh, Monitors and all types of stuff, so I can actually screen all that over here to those two guys when it comes to getting some mastering now. Yeah, I went into hobbies too, Transformer geeking it. I'm an 80s baby, what can you say? That's what I do. But anyway, main thing is I'm back. Well, I'm always doing beats. Progressing music, increasing technique, kind of speeding up the flow with what's going on now, I guess, because me, like I said, I'm an 80s baby. I actually prefer more of the old style. I mean, I can do all the trap stuff and all that. I had to turn my other keyboard on. Yeah, I'm controlling FL also through my tablet, which I'll be showing you too. Excuse the screen on the tablet. Had a little oopsie a couple weeks ago, but hey, happens. But mainly I'm working on a beat. I'm actually mixing down a remake of a beat that Cold as Ice from a track way back. And on that side I haven't recorded either in a while, but it's mainly just doing production and stuff like that for people. So shout out to my boy Son, Speak Easy TV, my boy Tech Lab, my other boys, DTF, the DTF squad, Bellic, Doughboy, Gremlin, all them, Bill Cams. Give a shout out to my boys that do my thing with. Look out for their channels too. I'll provide that later on. But mainly just doing music stuff, learning the basis. So these are my different EQs basically. Wait for that to focus on that. Using FL12. I always got to keep up to date with things. I'm also using, which is kind of different, Studio One 3. A lot of people didn't think I would jump over that. I know they were like, you always, for your loop bass, you always use like acid and things like that to break down your samples and things like that. I mean, I still use acid. That's my old school go-to tool. Because the only thing with Studio One, they don't have a actual VST or any mechanics to actually pitch a sample right then and there. You have to do a lot of meticulous things to break it down to get the sample the way you want it to sound. Like you gotta go and use like 2-3 plugins just to do one thing when I can just throw it in acid, speed it up, pitch it down, pitch it up. I can even EQ it and effect it before I even throw it into the beat, so I don't have to use an extra effect, to capture what I want to do. But basically, what I'm doing now is I'm going to play this beat for you guys and kind of break it down in sections for you. I didn't use a lot of sounds this time around. When I'm composing, I use a lot of different things, but when I'm actually sampling, normally you'll hear me add a lot of my own stuff in, but this time I didn't really have to do it. I learned a couple new techniques to actually improvise in sounds that are already in the sample when I'm cutting it up. So, like I said, I'm going to show you how I use my tablet now compared to how I used to just use the keyboard and have to reach and stretch. So, let me see. Right here. So, you'll know all this is controlling that. So, when I'm hitting play, stop, play, stop, of course. I'm actually going to move over to the, oops, no, I don't want the metronome. I'm going to move over to the playlist. See, that's the playlist. That's what I was just doing. So I'm going back to the playlist. Step sequencer, I can move all that around. Piano roll, even bring up the settings screen. All my undo, redo, everything. For those who don't know about that, app, you can always get the it's called IL Remote, for Image Labs, of course. Image Labs Remote, and basically it's an app that you can run from your tablet or your phone. You're gonna go into your settings, especially if you're using FL12. I don't know if you can really see it, but this bottom section right here, bang, actually says enable image line remote. You just click that. Look, you have a Wi-Fi running, from your computer base to your laptop and everything. It's running on the same Wi-Fi. It'll basically sync the program straight to that. When you come out, it actually runs two things. It's FL and Decadence. Decadence is basically like Native Instruments. A lot of their stuff, it's their version of the turntable and everything. Actually, FL had it first, and then I keep saying Creative Labs. Native Instruments came out with theirs for their turntables and stuff like that, like Reactor and stuff like that. So that's what that basically is. So I can do other things like scroll through my sounds and things like that, and pick your pattern, which one you want to go to. You're just moving this dial up and down, what pattern you want to go to. So let me come out my settings real quick. Bang, bang. And I'm going to go over to playlist like I said. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see things. So those are all the tracks. And let me move this around. Okay, that's how I want it. So that's basically all the tracks that I'm using. I have a little bit of an effect in the beginning, which is basically going to be the gross beat, VST. You kind of give it that stutter effect a little bit. I can break that down in another video or whatever using that, because I use it in a couple of things nowadays. So let me play this beat for y'all. I know y'all want to hear it, so let's go. So basically that's the beat right now. Excuse the noise in the background, also washing clothes too. But there's a lot of mechanics in the beat. I know a lot of guys, they go through sampling and actually putting the sample up in the playlist and everything. But I'm going to show you a little something. It's always been a trick of mine. Now I'm actually using my keyboard. Good thing I like about FL12 is you can bring up basically everything you do by going on your right click, and that shows every pattern you've done, all the VSTs and everything you're using. You can see I'm using a little bit of a Nexus, and oops, also using Direct Wave, which is actually how I sample. So that's that. That's that. That's that. That's that. And that's that. So there's 5 cuts that I use in this sample. Forgot it does that. All the sounds I use. So, basically when I do it, I'll go in, let's just say like with this one. This is basically the sample and the wave. So I'm going to go up and I'll show you the actual wave. So when you're quantizing, when you're cutting your sample, like I chopped this part right here, and you can't really see it as good as I wanted it to come out, but it actually stops about here. Oh, my mouse is moving. So it's between there, and then that's how I cut. So when I put my sample in and I drop it in from Acid, and then drop it into a file that I have considered as samples, what I do is I just go into the browse menu, bang, pull up all my stuff, go into my passport, samples, and then okay. And that brings up everything that I've turned into a wave, everything that I have ready to cut and chop. I've put videos out on this before, but in case you haven't been keeping up, you can just pick your samples. You can always hit the browse preview and it'll play the samples. And when you come in here, you can actually change your pitch on the little piano keys and everything if you don't have it at the right pitch that you want. And you can always time match it and everything like that. For all the pros that know how to time match. So that way, if it's off a little bit, you can actually do it in here. It's this little section right here. Come on, camera focus. One day I'll go do another camera. But it's where this knob is right there. Right here. And so what happens is when you're doing all that, you can actually break down the sample, speed it up and everything, and it matches like dead on point. A lot of people spend hours and hours trying to do it the old way and putting the sample in and then using Edison and stuff like that to actually break down a sample. It takes too long. You got to do too many chops, too many cuts. By then you're forgetting what the beat in your head sounds like because you're like, oh God, I forgot. So I just try and simplify it because for me, yeah, I used to be real minute, cut everything and stuff like that. But the only thing about it is when you're dealing with people in the studio, you can't sit down and you're making a beat. And sometimes somebody's like, I need something fresh. Okay, so I'm going to chop this down. You know, I need time and quality, of course. But I need time to do what I want to do because if I'm doing a live session with somebody, I need to be able to, you know, break down as they're using their creative flow, my creative flow at the same time, and put that beat together because that person is paying basically for the time. So if they're on block time and they only got 8 hours, it's going to take me 2 hours or an hour just to cut the samples if you do it the old way compared to me just doing this, bap, 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 and it's over and done with, and then we get in, you know, lay the drums or lay the pattern, put the effects in, master the track, all as we're going. So this guy can now go, you know, put 2 songs out or 1 song out that's really good and not, you know, a rushed song because the beat took forever. He hurry up and puts his vocals on, messes up a couple times. You're trying to auto-tune or do whatever to fix those things, and you're making a lot of work for yourself. So time flow is all about what I work with. And it's the same thing if I'm using Studio One. I have a basic good setup that, you know, I can show you guys later on in another video on how to do a vocal recording and have everything